Yeah, YouTubers, Tazman here, bringing you another episode of Fantasy Grounds from the ground up. And in our last episode set, I guess, I believe it was 4 through 8. Maybe it was, yeah, 4 through 8, I think. We talked about character creation and we got way into it. Hopefully, you enjoyed it. The first three were getting to know the interface of Fantasy Grounds. Now, we're at the point where you've all been waiting. You've been waiting for this since the beginning, combat and the combat tracker. So, I've already set up a couple things here. So, as you can see, I have the combat tracker. Um, there is a couple options. If you're a GM, this technically it doesn't need to be in the combat tracker section of this tutorial series type thing. But if you are the GM, one thing that can always give away quantity and stuff like that is if your mobs that are duplicates or whatever are numbered in order. So as you can see, I have these staggered, and also having their health staggered as well. So if you go into settings, and like I said, this is a little bit off, but if we go down to combat, I believe it is, there's the NPC numbering. You can have it random. You can have it off, so it's just goblin, 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 goblin. That makes it a little harder on the GM if you're trying to figure out which ones they're attacking, if they don't target them and stuff like that. So there's append, which will make it so the first one will be 1, 2, 3, and 4, which kind of lets people, if the first goblin they see is goblin 4, they know there's at least 3 others. But if they get something that says goblin 15, they're going to be freaking out just a little bit. So you can have fun with that. So I like leaving that on random. And then the other part down here is, I think it's under, no, I think it's under house rules. And this is the NPC hit points is random, which means, a goblin default hit point is 7. This will usually kind of stagger it just a little higher and a little lower. I actually manually set these just so we might be able to hit them a little more. But that's kind of how that works. So if you set critical, the CT, the house rules, NPC hit points to random, and once again you have standard, which means they're all exactly the same. Max means it always maxes them out. And then random kind of just does a range between, I believe it's between the average that it usually does and the max. I'm not 100% sure, but it does give a nice little range. Some will be the same, but that is the only part I wanted to point out. So we have our combat tracker up. I've added an additional guy. This is someone that's going to be playing a little adventure that I'm planning that hopefully I'll be able to stream on Twitch. So be sure to watch out for that. And then we have our FTGU, which is our cleric that we've been making. That has 2 health potions. We gave her a little bit extra. I think we gave her, what was it, 2 health potions and 2 daggers. So that's outside the standard. Generally, you probably wouldn't have that. Then we have our characters. I want to pull up the character sheet for FTGU. We'll have it right there. And we will have one for our other guy, so we can pull that info up real quick. And one thing I'd like to point out, I'm not 100% sure if I did this already, but you'll notice this is quite cluttered. And part of that is because I'm recording with this window being basically at the 720 by 1280 or the 1280 by 720, however you want to say it. So it's actually really small on my screen. If I maximize this window, it would actually, it's probably about a quarter the size of my screenish, because I think 1920 by 16, something like that is my actual, or 16 by, is my actual one. If, your screen is like this and you're like, wow, I could have this text be smaller, there is a command here. If we do /help, and there's a lot more as the GM that you can do, but if you do /help, and we gonna have to move this because this doesn't move on top, you'll see there's lots of commands here, and one of them is the scale UI 50 to 200. Now, mine is actually at 85 right now, but if we change this to say 100, it will actually give us, well, actually, it'll make it worse because it's going to make everything larger. But let's say if I went the other way and said maybe, I'm afraid to do 50. Well, I guess I could do that. Let's just do SCALE UI, scale UI, and let's set it to 50, which is the minimum. So you'll see now there is tons of space, but man, I have to get close to read that stuff because I guess my eyesight's not that great. So if we do 85, that's back where I was. So you can set it wherever it works best for you. 85 is good for me when I'm full screen. When it's like this, everything is going to be really cluttered, as I said, but that's okay. I'm going to move, let's see, actually I'm going to leave this here so I have access to my buttons. So here we have our combat tracker, we have our characters that are going to be playing. We could even move this down just a hair so we can see the player when they join. We won't see a lot up here. There will just be the one because I'm only joining myself and I'm not doing multiple. But let's see what else. Oh, and then we need the map of where we're actually playing. So if you are the GM and you have a custom map that you're doing, generally it's going to be under new, the group new, and as you can see it's right here. This is one that I created on Donjon and then imported into Dungeon Painter Studio, I think it is, on Steam, which makes it look a lot nicer. But anyway, and then I've kind of tweaked it and stuff, and I've added 4 goblins here. As you can see, they're all labeled right here, and you can see this little eye makes them invisible or visible, and currently these guys are all dead, so I need to get rid of that. Oh, whoops, this one. Let's do it here. That's because I was teaching some people. Oh, this one's not dead, actually. Unconscious. There we go. So now they're not unconscious anymore. All right, so this is what it looks like on the GM's side or the DM side. You'll notice that if you click on, say, double click on a guy, it'll actually pull up their sheet. If I double click on the goblin, goblin 4 sheet comes up, so on and so forth. And we're going to learn lots of different things we can do here. We're not going to go into the map. Like right now, everything is grayed out because we're using masking or fog of war, however you want to say it. You can mouse wheel, as I've said before, to scroll in and out. If you hold Control and left click, you can change sizes of windows really quickly and nicely, which is kind of good. Let's go and do this, and I'll just move it kind of centered. All right, so like I said, we have a cluttered desktop, but we know why. So we're going to go and I'm going to show you. This is what it'll look like when you launch it. You might not have Ultimate. You'll just click Join Game. And if you've already joined a game before, it will list it down here. It'll list all your games and the either alias or IP if they put it in. You can delete it by clicking this. But if not, if you've never joined one, you would just type it here. This is your username, what you want this isn't necessarily, this is just basically what you're logging in as, because once you click on a character, your little portrait up top will assume their name. So really this is just who you are. I gotta sneeze. Whew. I muted it just in time. And then localhost obviously is my local computer, where you'll either have an alias, which will be 4 kind of random looking words, or an IP address, which is 2 to 3, well, it could even be 1 to 3 digits followed by a dot, done like 4 times in all. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. We already know that my password right now for testing is T4ZZ, and we're gonna join. We're gonna join ourselves. So when you first join in Fantasy Grounds, you will see, okay, I was expecting the moment I said that roughly it would pop up, but no. Once it joins, you will see this. You'll see a campaign setup unless you have checked this show on load. If you do that, then it will no longer show on load. You can just close that once you're joining a game. Odds are you don't need to load any modules or anything like that. So then what you do is you find your character. And in this case, we're going to be FTGU. So we're going to click on him, or her, I mean. And then, of course, like I said, this little dot right here is resembling what your dye color is. And we can always change our dye color right here. We can add a little blue, a little red, a little green, you know, whatever color you want. You can make it really blue, nice purple color, make it darker, change that to make it hard to read, so on and so forth. So and you can see this little dot changes. So that is more or less a nice little feature, I guess. I don't know what that dot actually has to do with anything, but we're gonna go ahead and pull up her. The DM, if we go into maps, we'll notice here that we don't have any new. We don't have any maps at all. So the DM will have to go into their map and share it. So you go to sharing, and they can share, so they can preload the image, which means it'll push it to the clients so that when they share it, it'll pop up. They can also share the sheet. They can sync the client's view. So if the DM makes changes to this and the client isn't seeing it, they can always click sync. They can also lock the client view so that they're not able to move it, that they will just see what we see here. So if we go lock that, and now we share it, in theory, I've never really tried this, you'll see that even though I can move it, well, I guess, I'm not sure what lock view does. I'll have to look that up. But you can see that now we can see just what the DM wants us to see. We can't see any of the stuff that has been blanked out. I'll have to research what lock view is, because that would have made sense that it would have locked it so I couldn't move the map around, and it locked it in the size that I told it to. Like if I changed the size, it would zoom or something. I don't know. So here we go, and here's our main one. Okay, so what we do here is we would share with them a story, blah blah blah, you were captured or something, and who knows, I don't have a story prepared for this. We're just gonna jump right into the battle. And I could say they wake up, and as they open their eyes, they see a goblin that comes through this door over here, right? If we go onto the character screen, you'll see they only see a goblin. They don't see the others. They do not see his health. If we go into combat tracker, all they see is he is healthy, right? So this is kind of descriptive. Now you can actually tell it to show everything, but you don't want him to be able to go, oh, he has 3 hit points left, I just need to hit him this hard. That's called metagaming. So we kind of want to avoid that, right? So so here you can see they can see each other, they can see their health, and they can see how wounded they are and any temporary health they get. They can see all that. So right now, you'll notice in the order, this is the initiative. So this is where the DM would say, roll for initiative, right? And they would go, then they'd come to their sheet, and they would double click initiative, or they could drag it. They could double click it here, which will automatically do it, or they could drag it here, throw it down, and wow, a 1 plus a 3. Oh, we gotta show a little more space here. So yeah, they got a 4. So FTGU got a 4. And then, of course, everyone would roll Asdor here. He is going to be under GM control because I don't have someone to play him right now. So if we go to him, we go to roll initiative. We can just double click, and there we go. He's got a 10. And you'll see it automatically puts him up there. Now, there is one other option that I like to set. I'm not sure if it's set here. But with initiative, you can make it so in general D&D, it says that all groups will have the same initiative. And sometimes I find that kind of unfair because, like, if these all get a, say, 15, that means all of them get an attack before the first person, and they could just wipe out your team. So I do like, and I got to remember where that is. Add auto. See, here it is. Auto NPC initiative. We want to say it's to, I think just on. I think that's what we want. So now, if I come in here and, whoops, I didn't want to do that. Right now, that's just the turn. So this button right here is for the next actor. If we click on menu here, we can initiative, and we can roll for all NPCs. We can roll for everybody, so they don't have to roll their own. We can roll just for the NPCs, or we can only roll for the PCs. Or we can clear all initiatives. So we're going to roll for the NPCs. So here you'll see they actually still rolled pretty darn good. We have a 22, 20, 19, 5, and 4. So they will see on their end that only one goblin's there because he's the one that's visible, right? So they only see him, and they see, oh, he has a terrible initiative. I'm better than him. So because the other ones are invisible, technically they skip their initiative. But on the DM side, you'll see that they actually don't. And down below, usually when you click this next, it will show you the next person. Like if we go to Asdor, I think on their screen, I don't know if it shows, it does say Goblin 10. So oh, that's because we were doing it before. So as you can see, it doesn't show that any of those others had their turn as I skipped them. So as far as they know, Asdor was the first one. So Asdor here, he has a movement of 30, which means he can move 6 squares, and he's going to start moving right up there. So he's going to go 10, there's 20, and 30. So he really can't do anything unless he has a weapon. So let's go see if he has a ranged weapon real quick. And he does. He has a hand axe that he can throw, but he only has a scimitar. So he can't actually shoot a bow, but he can throw a hand axe. So here is where, in a crunchy thing, it's kind of hard because you can drag the attack, onto that goblin. You can drag onto Goblin 10 here. In fact, we can just do this and just say, okay, so he's going to attack Goblin 10. So he can do it here, and we got to scroll down. We can see he missed. Now we're going to keep that roll, but I'm going to show you the other ways. So we could also move his character sheet up here. We could drag it onto the goblin right here, and you'll see that that time, did I drag damage? Oh no, he rolled the 1. So he rolled a natural 1. Now I have a fun little mod in here from Rob Tui that is 200 fumbles. So once he rolls and gets a 1, it'll automatically roll on the fumble table. And now you'll see here that on this one, it just says that he failed, right? He got a fumble. And you can see his effect. Roll a d10, gain this many temp hit points. Yes, a good fumble. So he actually got a good fumble, which is kind of good. So we can say, okay, he gets a roll a d10. He got 8. Well, actually, that was the wrong person, but that's okay. FTGU rolled for him, got an 8. So this means he gets temp hit points of 8. So that's actually kind of cool. He got a good fumble. So that would be that miss. Oh, but we're not necessarily keeping that one, are we? The other way is you can, with Asdor here, you can, since it's his turn, you can control click on the goblin. Now you see it says targets goblin 10, right? And you can actually control click on multiple things. If I control click here, you can see now he's targeting both FTGU and 10. If I control click again, it removes it. So now all I have to do is double click here, and you'll see once again it is attacking the Goblin 10, and that one hit. So his first one did miss, so we're going to keep that. In fact, I don't need that one up. Beautiful. which means I might be able to move this up here. You know, just kind of moving things around. So he misses. Now, if he would have hit with the goblin targeted, as you can see here, I could just do double click here. Once again, if I don't have him targeted, I can always drag it on him. I can drag it down here, and it'll work fine. So, Asdor misses his throw, but actually it would have been this one. So he technically, it'll automatically do this, but like if I try once more, hopefully he misses. Okay, he misses. You'll notice it automatically marks that one of these are missing, which means he threw his axe. The DM could say something clever like, "Oh, you throw your axe and it just misses the goblin by a tiny bit and sticks in the door behind him." All right, so now he would end his turn. So he would click on the little down arrow that's next actor. I don't remember if I said it, but you'll notice there's only the next actor button here for actual players. So he's going to go ahead, he's going to click next actor, and that makes it the goblin's turn. So this goblin did not like an axe being thrown at his head, and he is going to take his short bow, and let's have him just target. Now, a nice thing about targeting also is it will actually draw this thing on showing you distance and stuff. So we could target Asdor with his bow here, and this will tell us that he has 20 feet. We can see the range on his short bow is 80 to 320. So I think this would be at disadvantage because he's trying to shoot at a much closer range. So we're going to click on disadvantage. And since we have him targeted, we can go ahead and just double click this. And it looks like we had a 14, which might have hit. I don't know, would a 14 hit? A 14 would have definitely hit. However, the disadvantage made him keep the 9, and he fails his hit. So this guy fails as well. And as part of his turn, he doesn't want to have to do that again. You can see the goblin. If we click here, this is his targets right here, right? This is info really quick for his things, his strength decks and stuff like that. We can also click on this, which is this one that we're seeing. We can't put it away because he's actually the one that's doing it. We have this right here, which is his size and his reach. So he's of a medium, small size, I believe, and his reach is 5, so he can't reach very far. We have effects that are on him, which are none right now. Where's effect? Oh, I closed effects to that one. So these are effects, you know, whether he's blinded or what. We can also double click here to center on him. If we double click that, we can see his actual speed is 30 feet. So he can actually move 30 feet as well. He's only 20 feet away, so he's going to go ahead and move in for an attack. Now, he could have used his bow. He could have not done his bow and came in and attacked. So in an attack phase, if you don't know, you have the option of doing an attack, moving, and if possible, you can do a bonus action. So he is done with his turn. So he's going to go ahead and go next. Now we're going to switch over to what it would look like if you were playing. So here we see it's your turn. You can see that the thing points to you. And I probably should clear out the round because this is not round 14. This is round 1. So FTGU here wants to try and hit. Now I'm trying to remember. I think if you hold shift and you click on a spot, is it not shift? Is it control? No. Is it alt? Maybe it's right click. Let's try control right click. No. There's shortcuts to draw arrows and stuff. Oh, I don't know what I just did there. I think I put away the map. All right, there we go. In fact, I'm pretty sure I did because I probably clicked on the close window. So you can also click on these arrows right here. So to just see kind of what range she has, she could draw an arrow from her to the goblin, And you could see, technically, she probably could not hit this goblin without hitting Asdor. So that would not be very good. We can clear this just by clicking and saying, is it here? Pointers, and say delete this. Also, if you have special effect type weapons like Dragon's Breath or something, you can click like here, you can go here, and you can say, I want the cone, and then you just draw, and then you can get an idea of, okay, so this is the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet, and this is how much it would cover. If we did more or less, it would automatically tell us that. So we can see kind of an idea of that. You can also do like anything that says it's a cube. You can actually come in here. You can see a square, a circle for a cylinder. We can remove all pointers or remove this pointer. So FTGU or Tazzy here is going to move up, and her movement is 35. And then we'll go to actions. So she's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And I believe she has a crossbow, light crossbow. She has a light crossbow. So she is going to target the goblin. So we're going to control click him. You'll see he is now targeted. And she is going to shoot an arrow. Now you'll notice it'll automatically get rid of our thing for us. And a 14. She hits. So that's great. So now she can do damage. So she does 1d. That is totally wrong. 1d20 plus 3. That is not right. Let's go look at the damage on a crossbow real quick. 1d8 piercing. So yeah, 1d20. I don't know where that came from. I must have dragged something up here on accident. So let's go ahead and we'll just add a new one. This is probably the easiest way. So here is our 8-sided. We'll do 1d8. And I think, do we need to put the +3? And then we'll get rid of, we'll go ahead and add this. Control C and Control V. And I think we might have to do the +3, but I'm not 100%. I think because we said the base is the thing there, I don't think we have to do anything else. So let's go ahead and do that and double check. No, 1d8. Then we do want to definitely say dex. So 1d8, and our stat will be, oops, I passed it. Can I go backwards? No. Dang it. Druid. Oh, wow. We have to go through all the races now. Okay, here we go. Base, strength, dex. All right. So that's better. So let's go ahead and do some damage on this guy. And we see we got a 1 plus our 3 is 4. Now you'll notice here it shows that he's wounded. So we don't know how wounded he is. We kind of get an idea. This means he's scratched a bit. He's not dying or anything. But over on the DM side, we can actually see that 4 damage out of 9, he's about a little less than half. So not too shabby. So that is her move. I don't think she has a bonus action. So she, oops, wrong one. No, that's the right one. So let's see. Yeah, I don't think she has any bonus actions. Oh, we can move this to combat or standard and summary and actions. There we go. Although I think if we do combat, it doesn't show all the ones that aren't prepared. So she's doing pretty good. I don't think she needs anything else. Although, technically, she did drop her shield. So remember how we did that? She needs to drop her shield, which means her AC goes down by 2. And if you remember, it does not reflect it here. It doesn't go down to 14 here. But we did see that a 14 will hit her. So now it's Asdor's turn again. I think it's Asdor, right? Yes. So let's go back to him. Oh, she needs to end her turn. I forgot to do that. So now she's done with her turn. She ends her turn. And you'll see it goes blank. And this is where the DM would have to go quickly change the thing. Because Goblin 15, who's invisible right now, doesn't go. So he could just click down here on Asdor. Now it's Asdor's turn. So Asdor, he is going to try and attack again. This time he's going to use his scimitar. So let's see if he can hit. So double click. 11, 16 is definitely a hit. He's going to do some damage. And he does 2, 3, 5. I think this guy is dead. So you'll notice right here. Whoops, I don't want to rotate him. Rotate. There. You'll notice right here we get some status effects. And the ZZZ, if you mouse over it, you can see is unconscious. If we go look on the player's side, you'll see he is also ZZZ. Right? You'll also notice there's a status effect here for her saying she dropped her shield. AC is -2. So you can see that. Now this AC, you can see it's a duration 1. So that means at the beginning of her next turn, she could pick her shield back up unless she uses her crossbow again. So let's go ahead and let's zoom out here just real quick. Like I show. That's probably good enough. So let's go back. Asdor, he did some damage. In fact, he killed the guy. Now, this is where the DM would generally come in here and say, good job, you killed him. And they would click this. Is this the right one? Yes. Uh-oh. Okay, I don't know why it's not letting me do this. Oh, there we go. So he is now dead. Well, they might think they're done with the battle, but all of a sudden, out of this door flies open, and in comes 2 more goblins. We'll save this guy for later. Shh, they don't know. So now it's FTGU's turn, because Asdor finished his turn, right? So we go back to FTGU. Alright, so FTGU here is going to use her crossbow again. You'll notice her effect, her status effect is now gone. The targeting of the dead guy is now gone as well. She's going to fire off a crossbow bolt at this guy right here. So let's go ahead and control click him, or we can drag, it doesn't matter. And because she's doing her crossbow, she needs to drop her shield or put it away. That might be a better thing to say, is put away shield. And she's going to fire. 20, natural 20 even. And you'll see it rolls automatically on the critical hit table. The critical hit is not telling them what happens, but we will be able to see here. Actually, I guess on the critical hit table, it rolled a 2, which means it's just a critical hit. So not a big deal there. So now when Tazzy goes to do her damage, it's actually going to do extra damage because of that critical hit. So if we go ahead and double click this, you'll see it does 2d8, which is kind of terrible that it doesn't. I generally, when I'm playing with people, I usually max out the first die, which means it would have been 8, and then they just roll the second die plus the modifier. So this probably, since this one would have been an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 would have been the damage. Personally, I think it's not right. I mean, if you get a critical hit and it's less than what you could do in damage as your max, you know, my max damage with this girl would be 11, but her critical hit did a 7, which, yeah, it just doesn't seem right. But as you can see here, this goblin is now heavy damage. And she's used up another bolt. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to this one. All right, so now we have, FTG needs to end her turn. Dang it. So she ends her turn. Boom. And you'll see she has that AC -2 again because we dropped our shield to fire off our crossbow. Now we can go over here. All right, so Goblin 15's turn. He is, which one? Goblin 7's invisible. So Goblin 15 here is going to try and shoot an arrow. I don't actually, you know what? He's going to move up. you know what? I'm still going to have him shoot an arrow because the next thing I wanted to do, um, yeah, it's going to be a disadvantage. So we're going to go ahead and click disadvantage. And he is going to target Asdor. And, oh, that's the other thing. You can also drag your attacks from here if they show. I'm not sure if on players they show. But I know with mobs they do. So he's going to use his crossbow here at disadvantage. And you can see he rolled a 2 and a 10. He keeps the 2. So his arrow just goes whizzing, you know, just over his shoulder and sticks into the wall. So bad on goblin number 2. Okay, so that means his turn's over. He goes and passes. It's now Goblin 4's turn, which is this guy right here. He is not very happy at being hit. He's going to go ahead and move in. So he's going to go 5 and 10. He's going to be next. Tazzy here. He is going to control clicker. And he's going to attack with his scimitar. Actually, they should be using their... No, that's 30 also. Although this one's 80. He should have used his javelin. So he's going to, not short bow, he's going to use his scimitar. And he rolls a 5. Looks like a miss. So because he's in such pain and stuff, he doesn't get a good swing. I keep saying Tazzy, but FTGU moves out of the way just in time. In fact, let's do this. Well, we'll do it in the next. All right, so his turn is now over, and it is Asdor's turn. Now, here's one thing I wanted to do with him is, remember we said we stuck his axe into the door over here? So he wants to go recover that axe. So he's going to go 5, 10, 15, and 20. And we just say he recovers his axe by unchecking that. And now he grabs the axe out of the door and throws it at Goblin number 15 here. So Goblin 15 is targeted. No, he is not. We can turn off effects, by the way. So control click him. 15 is now targeted. We can go ahead and we're throwing an axe. So let's see if we can hit him. And an 11 misses. So this axe just goes, doesn't have quite enough strength in it, and it just kind of falls in the ground somewhere over here. All right, so that is his turn. So now we get to FTGU, which I'm going to rename Tazzy real quick to show you that you can do that as well. So if we change FTGU here to T4ZZIE, you'll notice it also changes up here, and it changes it here automatically for us. So that's a little easier for us. So Tazzy's up, and Tazzy, being right next to this guy, she is going to... I don't think we've been hit at all, have we? No. Which I want him to get hit. So maybe Tazzy will get hit. She's going to go ahead and use her mace. I don't want to use radiance. We might kill it. Let's make this a non-magical weapon again. So it's just a mace. Let's go ahead here. And we'll go ahead and do this, and we'll get rid of this, and we'll get rid of the magic. Do you believe in magic? Okay, there. Now it's just the mace. I mean, we still might kill it, but if we kill it, that's okay. I just don't want to do extra damage. So she still has Goblin 4 is targeted. She's going to go swing, and a 13 is a miss. Really? What is their health? 13 is a miss. And she is... Now, if she were to move away from this goblin, it would invoke a attack of opportunity, which means he would get a free swing on her. So let's just do that for the fun of it. So she moves away out of his range, and now he takes an attack of opportunity. In fact, let's have her move like back here. So just as she starts moving away, he gets a free swing. So Goblin number 4, out of turn because it's an attack of opportunity, gets to attack Tazzy, right? And he's already selected. So this is a scimitar attack. And a 20. Ooh, Tazzy, you poor thing. You learn the secret of the universe. Can it gain XP equal to 1 to 20 the amount between your current XP and your next level. Then forget the secret. So this would just give extra XP. We're not going to worry about that. This was the scimitar, and he is going to do his damage, which is 7. And you can see here that Tazzy is probably not feeling so hot now. Yes, Tazzy is feeling really not so hot. So Tazzy was not a good move for her to move away and invoke that attack of opportunity. In fact, they're both looking about the same. Now, as I said, Tazzy can actually see the damage she sustained, but cannot see the damage he has. So she can see this goblin's healthy. He's completely healthy. And maybe on her next move, I don't think she can... No, I don't think she has a... She might be able to... Is any of these a bonus action? Although technically, I guess she already left. I don't think... Dude, we didn't give her any... She's a terrible cleric. She's not even a healer. Whoops. That's okay. She has 2 healing potions. I forgot she doesn't even have any healing potions. Next, she's gonna open up on someone with that though. Okay, so yeah, Goblin 13's turn. So let's go ahead and here we go. Goblin 13 or 15, I mean, is going to run up. We're gonna move this guy. He's inside this door right now. He's gonna run up and get to Asdor, and he is going to swing, and he's still targeted, so he's going to go in and swing. He hits a 7. He totally misses, and that was his movement and his action. Now, one thing also to note is he could move, shoot, and then move again. I mean, he won't invoke an attack of opportunity if he doesn't get within melee range. Attack of opportunities only are with melee range. So his turn is over. Goblin number 4, who does not feel so good. He is 5, 10, 15. So if he goes 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. If he moves to, say, back here, now he's 30 feet away, he should be able to throw a javelin. And let's see, he's going to attack with a 3 and totally missed. So the javelin, he's hurt so bad, the javelin doesn't even quite make it to her. It just falls short of her. Okay, that means it is Asdor's turn. So Asdor, on his turn, is going to, he's going to want to scimitar at this guy. Actually, you know what? He's a barbarian. He's going to rage. So if we click this, you'll see he rages. Now what this does is gives him advantage on checks of strength, advantage on saves of strength, damage, +2 on melee. He resists bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. So resist means he would take half damage. So if this guy hit for 5 damage, he would actually only take 2. So now that he's raging, let's see how he does. He goes and he hits this goblin with a 16. And he is going to wreak some havoc. So he... Oh, did I do... Which one did I do? Scimitar. Okay, good. I did the right one. I was thinking maybe I did this on accident, which means I'm going to do... Well, it's the same damage, so it doesn't matter. So he's going to go ahead and damage... He does 1 + 5, 6 slashing. That was kind of weak. Yeah, so he had even with the +2 plus his 3. He still got 5, but kind of weak since he rolled a 1. Alright, so that's his turn, but now he is angry. So, just at this time, I'm going to say this guy comes through this door over here. Because we want Tazzy to get a chance to use her spell. I want to show you spells. So this guy comes through the door. Tazzy sees him on her turn, and she decides to do her guiding bolt. Can't believe we didn't do any healing spells. That is funny. So she's going to do guiding bolt. If we go look at the information on it, flashlight streaks towards current creature of your choice within range. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 46 radiant damage. And the next roll made against this target before the end of your next turn has advantage. Thanks to mystical dim light glittering on the target until then. So this is a spell, and you just do a regular attack. So she's going to untarget this guy right here. So control him, and she's aiming at him now. And she's going to guiding bolt. Oops, only one of those. I thought I had to. Well, either of them hit, it looks like. So she hits with guiding bolt, and as we can see here, this is going to put an effect on the bad guy here. So let's go ahead and do damage. So we just click on this, and I believe it'll do the damage. And yeah, he's pretty beyond dead. If we go look, damage exceeds hit points by 4. He is dying. And if we mouse over, he is completely unconscious. In one hit, she just totally takes that dude out. So very nice, Tazzy. Okay, so now it's Goblin 15's turn. Which one was Goblin 15? You? Yeah, if you look close, you can actually see a little rings around them. This little gray ring, which I'm just not paying attention to. Oh, wow, this is 47 minutes. All right, so we're almost done. So let's go ahead, and Asdor here, he's going to go ahead and swing at this guy again. And, or I mean 15's attacking, so he's going to swing at Asdor again with his scimitar. So he gets a 12. That's a hit because plus 4 is 16. He's going to finally do some damage, and he does 7 damage. Asdor is not terrible, but he's not loving it, and you'll notice here he's still raging. All right, so let's see. That means his turn is up, and Goblin 4 is going to go. And Goblin 4 is this guy. He is going to try and throw another javelin at Tazzy, and she should still be selected. Oh, whoops, damage. Whoops, whoops, whoops. We messed up a little bit, but that's okay. We can take 3 back from Tazzy real quick and put her back at 7. And we'll need to also take off the unconscious. I clicked the wrong one. There we go. So everything's undoable that is mess up. So we need to do the javelin attack, which is a miss. So actually Tazzy dodged a bullet. So this one, once again, this one had a little more oomph to it, but it actually landed right next to her. And how many javelins does this guy have? I think he has like 5. Dun, 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 dun. Actually, I guess it doesn't say here. It doesn't have their inventory. We'll say he has 5. Just because he's an NPC. What is it? Oh, is this the lock thing? We'll have to play with that because I didn't notice that before. Okay, so wow, we're almost at an hour. Okay, so that is his turn. He missed Goblin 7's turn. Oh, he's dead. He dead. We'll remove him. Asdor's turn. Asdor still raging. And raging because he was actually hit. If you don't take a hit, I believe your rage comes off. We can verify that right here, saying dun, 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 you have advantage when you make a melee. If you're able to cast spells, On your turn, you can enter Raze's bonus action. While raging, do the following. I thought it says in here that as long as you take damage or hit. Oh, there it is. So if your turn ends and you have neither attacked a hostile creature since your last turn, nor taken damage since, you can also, then it ends. Turn ends. Yes. I believe. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. All right, so Asdor, he is once again going to hit this guy. So he has him targeted. So Asdor, go ahead and use your scimitar again. We got a 9. He misses. Ugh. Raging, and he misses. Okay, so, oh, that's the other thing I wanted to point out. When he took the damage from this guy, you'll see he actually took, is it this one? Yes. So you can see he actually partially resisted because he, as rage mode, resists piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing. So instead of taking the full, 7, he only took 3. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. It is Tazzy's turn again. And Tazzy is going to use one of her potions of healing for her turn. So what she's going to do is she is going to, and this is a full action, she's going to go ahead and target herself and do 2d4 plus 2. Beautiful. 8 healing. She is all better. She feels great. Okay. So let's continue on. That is her turn unless she wants to move. She's feeling pretty good about this guy not being able to hit her with a javelin. So she's going to stay where she is. All right. Goblin 15's turn, which is the dude up here. And we need to go to Asdor. Oh, oops, that was Tazzy again. Asdor. Asdor is once again going to swing at the goblin. And do, oh boy. Oh, that's a 7. Whew. Not oh boy. But still oh boy because he missed. Okay, so that is his turn. He's not going to move because you don't want, I did that backwards. This guy is, I'm glad he missed. So this guy's swinging at Asdor. And he hits. And does 1d6 plus 2 damage. And once again, he's still raging. So you'll see it's partially resisted. So there's 8. He only takes 4, but he is still a heavy. So Asdor got his first 3 and now his 4 of 13. So there we go. And next guy, Goblin here. He is, he can't actually get back far enough to pop a arrow off, can he? If he goes, he needs to be, range for the arrows 80. I don't think you could. Even all the way down here, I don't think you could. Let's check. Yeah, 45. 30. All right, he is going to move in to her because it was, 30? And he's going to swing his scimitar, and totally miss. Okay, so that is his turn. He moved. Asdor's turn. Now Asdor's going to try and hit the goblin with his scimitar. And a 10, 15, he hits. Hopefully he finishes them off. 2 plus 5, 7. He is dead. Dead. Beautiful. Oh, but I did that with, no, I did that right. I was like, oh no, I did that with the wrong one. Okay, so now it goes to Tazzy. Tazzy's turn once again will be to attack this guy. She's going to use her mace. Unfortunately, she has, her strength is 1. So actually it's -1. So she's not very good with her mace. Why is this +1 then? Oh, because they're proficiency. So proficiency of +2, -1 is 1. Okay, so let's go ahead, and she is going to, maybe she should do a dagger. She's going to do a dagger. She's going to dagger this goblin. But this one is no longer targeted. So let's go ahead and target him. He is 5 feet away. Go ahead and dagger. 6, total miss. Boy, this battle is definitely one for the records. All right, Goblin 4's turn, who is heavy damage. He is now super close, so let's go ahead and go here. He is going to scimitar Tazzy, and he misses. Everyone's just missing. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so Asdor, he, I believe, has at least one axe still. He's going to throw his throwing axe, and he needs to target Goblin there. He is going to see if he can redeem himself with his last throws. And he does not. So his axe kind of just doesn't make it very far. And for his action, he's going to move up and hopefully invoke the rage of this goblin, so he doesn't hit Tazzy. So we'll see if that happens. But it is Tazzy's turn, so technically maybe Tazzy will finish off the goblin. And Tazzy's going to attempt to do just that. She's going to stab at the goblin again. And a 14, 19, beautiful. She hits and does 1d4 plus 3 damage. Boom! She finishes off the goblin. Beautiful. Good job, Tazzy. So now goblin number... oh, I can't remove him here. It's in here. So now goblin number 4 is toast. And all that remains is our two people here. So Tazzy is going to, and we'll just say he picks up his 2 axes. And Tazzy, she could go look for her arrows. Maybe the DM would be nice and say, well, at least one of them were salvageable. I think she only fired off 2. But anyway, in this round, he's not going to do an attack. So you'll see if we go boom here, I think, oh, technically we just have to remove his rage now, because he just went a whole round without any damage or giving damage. So his rage goes away and he's back. However, he's a 7. So Tazzy is going to go ahead and give him, now I'm not going to go remove this from inventory, but this is normally what you would do. Tazzy wants to give him a healing potion. And I don't have that coded, but we're going to go ahead and let him heal, which is 2d6 plus 2. I forgot the plus 2 part. Let's do that real quick. Plus 2. Okay. And we'll go ahead and pick that back up and go, boop. There we go. He rolls a 9. So we could say he heals for 9. So he's at 0. And now he's all better. And Tazzy technically has spent both her healing potions. So she would come in here and say that, where's her healing? Right down here. You have to mark these manually. So she drank one and she gave one. So you'll notice now it doesn't show it, and that's because we're in combat mode. If we're in standard or preparation, where she says how many she has, it does show it. So here she spent them. What you would do at the end of your session is you would go update your inventory with any rations you've eaten. So now we could actually say, I don't know if we say 0, if it'll still keep it. It looks like it does, so that's good. So we don't have to just keep adding them. So here we can see she has no healing potions now, just empty vials, I guess. And she gave him one. So because this was just demoing, I'm giving her back her potions. And Asdor, he doesn't have potions, so that's okay. So there we go. That is kind of how combat goes. If a player falls unconscious, if Tazzy, for example, would have fell unconscious, she would have to do death saves, and more than likely Asdor would have ran over there to try and help her. So he would probably go over. Let's just pretend she uh, fell to the sword. Asdor would go over and maybe try and do a medicine on her. I don't know if this will work doing it this way. Let's check. No, it doesn't. So he would do a medicine check to see if he could get her better. The DM would say something like, okay, this is Asdor is not proficient in medicine, so I'm going to say he has to get a 15 or higher. I'd say Asdor roll in the dice tower. He rolls a 17. I could now say, okay, Tazzy is now stable. So where she was dying, she would have the effect of unconscious. And unconscious means she does have to make death save throws. However, when he stabilized her, I can do stable, and now she no longer has to make death throws. She's unconscious but stable. And then when she actually comes to, he heals her up at least to 1 HP. Then we can say she's not unconscious anymore. She's not stable. She has 1 HP. So I'd mark this to 7, and now she has 1 HP. So that just kind of gives you an idea how all this works. Wow, we went a full hour. Sorry it took so long, but I think we kind of covered the combat tracker. Hopefully we did it well enough. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. We'll change that back to 0. And I guess I didn't mention what these little skulls down here are. If we have our mobs in here again, let's just go grab some NPCs, goblins. So if we have some goblins in here again, goblin, 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 and you'll notice it's randomly giving them HP. Actually, it's not doing that right now. Maybe I unchecked that one. But you'll see there's these goblins here. If, for example, one of these goblins you ended up capturing and befriending, you could actually drag that on, and now this guy is actually considered neutral. Or if he actually becomes your friend, you could actually do that, and he actually is on your side. So I didn't talk about that. I think everything else we kind of talked about. The other thing we can do from this panel as the DM, not as the users, is you can actually come into here and say, okay, you guys take a short rest. And this will allow them to, any benefits they have that heal from a short rest will heal up or whatever. They can use hit dice. Then you could also say, okay, you take a long rest. This will replenish all spell slots. This will also heal them up to full and everything else. So if we go look at Tazzy, go look at her actions now, you'll see that the guiding bolt, guiding bolt has now been reset. You can see, where is it, up here? None of the spell slots are being used. I mean, this is kind of outside this is all you really need as a player, is understanding of this. This will show you your effects, but I don't believe you get to remove them yourself. So I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you watched the whole thing and didn't get bored and go away. I guess if you did, you're not listening to this part. But if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my Discord and my other channels. And don't forget about the Great Big Game giveaway. When I hit 1,000 subs, I'm giving away 57 Steam games. Oh, that's pretty epic. And that averages out to be 1 out of every 20 subs gets a game. So tell everyone you know about my channel. If they like it, they can sub, and we'll be one step closer to that Great Big Game giveaway. And did I already say check out my Discords? Information's all in the video description or on my channel homepage. There's little links also for, like, I think Twitter and Twitch and my other channels. So that's it. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.